What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the Buy the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host, as always. My name is Jimmy, and as we start off every episode, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to all of our supporters, anyone who shared any of our content, bought any of our courses. Special shout out to all the students in Buy the Hood University, which is still growing. Just want to say thank you, guys. We appreciate you. My partner, Crown Corey, isn't with us today. He is handling some business, but the show goes on, and we have a very, very special guest. Our platform is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who are doing positive and amazing work in the community, building businesses. And this brother I'm bringing on right now is a member of Buy the Hood University, but he's also, creating his own platforms and building businesses that are very impressive. And he has an amazing story to tell. So without further ado, I want to bring my brother Dave on. Dave Foster, how are you, good brother?
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy? Nice to be on, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, listen, man, appreciate it, man. Listen, you have an amazing story you were telling me a little bit about before we came on. But before we get into that part, let's talk about your background. Where are you from? What city, what part of the city? So where are you from?
From Philadelphia. I grew up in North Philadelphia. Born and raised. Lived in North Philly probably mostly all my life.
Okay. What was it? No, I'm from Philly, so I got you. What section of North Philly? Like what?
I was born at 10th and Girard and the projects that they have there, and then my family moved up to 15th, 16th and Clearfield, that area, and then
Okay.
we moved up about 3 blocks up, 15th and Tioga.
Nice. Okay. So what schools did you go to coming up? Did you go to neighborhood schools around there? Or?
I went to Harrison, which is 12th and Girard. I think they changed the name. And then my grandmother wanted me to be part of the desegregation program. So she sent me to John Hancock up in the greater Northeast. I went to LeBron. And then from LeBron, I went to George Washington High School, where I graduated.
Okay. Nice. All right. So you're an entrepreneur now. In coming up, was anybody around you an entrepreneur? Did you always think you'd be an entrepreneur? How did that actually happen?
Uh, Looking at the guys on the corner, for lack of
Okay.
better words, those was the guys that I knew they had the things that I wanted. And at that time, I thought doing the things that they was doing was the best way. But as you get older, you learn that's not the way.
Yeah. So I guess the environment, the experience is coming from your environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know that right now, you're a real estate agent, you're a realtor,
Absolutely.
as well as an investor, and you own other businesses as well. But
Absolutely.
let's talk about this hurdle that you had. So, what, and I generally ask this to every guest, like, what's the biggest hurdle you had to overcome? And you kind of told me your answer, but let's talk about that a little bit if what you're willing to share.
The
Um,
biggest hurdle I had is probably being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I wound up being incarcerated. I did 5 years upstate, came home to absolutely nothing. I had a good family support, and I said, let me take my shot at real estate. I used to work 2, 3 jobs and still do real estate until I started getting rid of that job until I could do real estate 100%. And it took me to a place in life that I didn't think I would be after everything that I'd done and been through.
so here's the thing, right? So you did 5 years, right?
Yes.
And with that being said, what was it about real estate? Was it something that you thought about while you were doing your time, or was it something that you saw after you got out?
It was something before, during, and after. Before I even went in, I used to always try to look up properties, search people, things of that nature, but I never really jumped into it the way I should have.
Okay. So what so I guess like that was something on your mind while you were doing your time, like when I get out of here, I'm gonna get into real estate. Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So so that journey from when getting out and deciding that you're going to get into real estate, you said you worked multiple jobs to kind of like, to handle that piece of it. So did you always want to be an investor, an agent? Like, how was that journey? Like, what was the
Well,
transition from just
actually,
working?
I wanted to have a career. Some people just say, you know what, I'm happy working what I would call just a regular job. I wanted to have something that I could say was a career. And then as I got into it, it just started to open up more doors, more doors, more doors. And it's just my focus was to stay in the real estate realm with whatever I do, because I figure it's all part of the same thing.
Got you. Okay. All right. So man, that's impressive, to go through that and then, somehow come on the other side where, you're doing positive work now, right? You're doing positive work as a real estate agent. Let me ask you a question. Which part of that do you enjoy the most? Investor or an agent?
Agent. And the reason why is because when you help someone, coming where I come from in North Philly, it wasn't a lot of homeowners, it was a lot of renters. And you used to see um, the guy come and pick up the rent or the insurance man come pick up the money. And right now, and I try to make people make that transition to understand that you can own a house and you don't have to rent and you can build equity and hopefully leave something to your kids or your kids, things of that nature. So no matter how big I get in real estate, I always wanted to help homeowners. That's why I'm constantly pushing out information, just giving information to try to educate people more.
Yeah, got you. And you have other businesses within the real estate space, right? Could you
Yes.
tell me a little bit about that?
One of the businesses I have is a lead dust business that I probably started around 2 years ago. Just another credential for me to have in the business. And the other is a short sale company that facilitates short sales.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I've heard people refer to you like, you're the short sale king. So, I mean, I can pretty much guess how you got into that because there was a lot of, that particular part of the business needed someone to service it. But what was it
Yep.
about short sales that made you really like, go all the way in and learn that business?
It was one of them things where when I first got into business, I didn't have any buyers, I didn't have any sellers, so I was kind of taking on anything. And one thing I don't like to lose, so my first short sale was a friend of mine, and I facilitated the whole deal, got to the end, and the bank sold it at short sale.
Ooh.
So I was kind of upset because trying to figure out what did I do wrong, where did I go. I don't think it was no fault to mine because it was really at the end where he actually reached out to me 6, 9 months before, never got back to me. And then when it got closed, he ran to me to help. So I jumped in and then I just started honing up my skills, learning more and more about it, where I basically just do them with my eyes closed. Okay, order this, do this, get that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. So if anybody out there, you got that, situation going on and you're in this area, you know who to reach out to. He knows how to get those deals done.
You know,
Um,
one of the biggest things about the short sales is that
mhm.
a lot of people look at it as something negative. Where I've been doing it so long, I kind of went through the emotional roller coaster of it. Oh my God, this person is losing their house. Um, they have to sell their house. But then once I started understanding the real estate cycle, I started learning that it's not a bad thing. Okay, if you can't afford this asset, let's get rid of it,
Mhm.
reset you within 12 to 24 months, you're good. You can buy a house.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's understanding the game, right? So, I mean,
That's a big part of it, a huge part of it.
I'd rather have that than a bunch of foreclosures if I could do some short sales. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. But so the other business is intriguing to me as well because we're going through this phase in Philadelphia specifically. Um, as a landlord, I know that when I went to renew multiple licenses this year, I got lucky though. I'm not gonna lie. Most of my properties were in zip codes where they don't require it yet. So,
Yeah, but it's
so
coming for you.
but I,
It's
but I
coming.
know, but they gave me the warning. Let me know, like, you're okay for right now, but we warning you that this is coming. So they're requiring us to have these inspections done as a landlord in order to renew your rental license. So
Hmm.
that'll be pretty good for you in terms of you having this business. But this is something that you set up, before this legislation, right?
Yeah, I had the business in place, but once I saw that it was coming, um I wanted to still do my main business, but I didn't want that to take over, which I knew it would. And if you are in the business, I'm sure it's taking over your life. So one of the very important things that I did was automation. So I didn't want to spend much time. I didn't want to take away from my main business. So I actually automated the whole process from taking the order, getting it printed out, setting it up. I basically just have to go take the test, drop it off. Once I drop it off, automation jumps in again. Your results come in. It looks at your results, tell you if you passed, tell you if you failed, and we go from there. So automation became my friend for this particular project, and I'm actually using a little bit of artificial intelligence through the process.
That's a good question because we've talked before about like some of your automation, and I know that like, a couple of our friends were joking about your love of Microsoft and different softwares. But can you talk about automation because you're big on automating your business, right? What are if you willing to share, what are some of the tools that you use for automation?
My two main tools that I use is Microsoft Office 365. Their whole suite is very user friendly, but I use Microsoft Office 365 and Zoho, and I put them together. And it's kind of like, okay, you have this show, and I'm sure you have 4, 5, 6 steps for this
Hmm.
show, correct?
Yes.
You reach out to the person.
Hmm.
So you can automate that. You can have a database of 30 people where you can say, I'm going to send out an email to introduce myself and what I want to do. Once they reply, it can go into a database, it can come out. Um, Actually, I just had a meeting today for an hour. I have a guy from India working on some more automation for me. And all I could think about was like, wow, I don't know this stuff, but I know what I want to do. And once I give it to him, he produce it for me and say, give it back to me.
Yeah. See,
So anything that you want to do, write down the steps. I'm talking about if it's 10, 50, whatever the steps are, write them all down and then take it to whoever you're going to use and say, automate this process for me. You'd be surprised what they come back with.
that's a good piece of advice because a lot of people are telling me you need to get you some VAs, right? You need to hire VAs for to.
I have two.
Okay, so okay, I gotta figure that piece out. Like it's still difficult for me. It's still something I'm working on. But man,
One
that
of the biggest things with a VA that I've learned, I think we're going on 2 years now, is if you have a particular task, you yourself need to write it down. I'm talking about step by step. I use Word or Excel to put all my steps in. And then I actually videotape myself doing the steps. So they have the paper and then they have the video. And then you say, this is the task that I want. Here you go. And if you communication was real big. I was afraid to get a VA because I didn't want to just have someone running amok. So I use Microsoft Teams
hmm
where we all in there all day long. I can send a message to ping them, hey, I need baby about XYZ. They'll send it over to me or they'll email you. Having a good CRM really helps because if you're my client, I can say, hey, go into Jimmy file and find out when we need to go to settlement. They'll ping it back, Jimmy, we're going to settlement on this day. Communication, having your system in place. One of the biggest things about system is the movie. What's the movie about McDonald's? The
uh, the founder, what's it called? The
the
founder.
founder. One
Hmm.
of the biggest things I took away from that is, and it still holds true, they put together that McDonald's system. Remember, they were standing outside and they kept moving the people
Hmm.
around with the. That's exactly what you need to do for your business or anyone else. You have to figure out step one, step two, step three. And what I'm finding out is even if I do 12 steps, once it start going, I see, you know what, there's an issue. I need to add in another step or tweak it. I'm constantly tweaking. That's why I was on a call earlier because I said, you know what? I want to do more. And it's like the more and more you get into it and you have the mind frame where the mindset that this is what I want to do, you're going to start thinking more about the system more than just doing it. I just read a quote the other day. Someone said, basically, I don't want the dinner. I want the recipe.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm starting to think, I don't want you to just show me. No, I want to look what's going on behind the system
Got you.
so I can make more systems and it's really making my business operate 10 times better.
And that's amazing because you can actually do more because you understand it's about leverage and you're leveraging like so having systems is really about leverage and that's doing business smart. That's working smart, not necessarily working hard.
Working smart, not hard. That's my motto. Work
Yeah,
smart, not hard.
that's interesting. So Microsoft. It is funny because I actually pay for Microsoft 365. I have the big plan and everything. I use it for what I use it for, but I'm probably not even fully utilizing it now that you talked about merging it with Zoho. I got to look into
And and the funny thing about it is you don't have to know all of that. You just need to pay for the two systems
it. Hmm.
Write down what you want. Matter of fact, I just put in a request on Fiverr for a guy to do what's called a flow for me, and it's part of my system. How I'm trying to think it through to make things a lot better for me. Fiverr, Upwork, they have people on there to do it. I even share my guys. Hey, if you want to use my guys, there you go.
Okay, so you're leveraging technology and also people. So I mean, hey, you figured this stuff out, man, and this is very impressive because um, I speak with a lot of real estate agents, and a lot of them, don't understand that part, how to leverage technology in a way that you're doing. You know?
But is exciting to me because I was actually in college for computer science, so I have a little knowledge, and I know just enough to say, okay, I can start it, but someone else can finish it. I think who was it? Diddy of Masterpiece said, "I pay people, you know,
Mhm.
that's smarter than me." I
Yeah.
have no problem paying for that at all because it really helps. I designed a lead generation system for real estate agents, and I tell a lot of people I share. I don't mind, but I'm not running around. You see, we friends on social
Yeah.
media, so
Yeah.
you see I'm always just throwing stuff out there, and the leads come in. They come in through my, I guess you would call it a funnel. I don't use click funnels. I know we talked about
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but I make my post. I have my word, and click on the link. They have 6 questions they fill out. When the 6 questions come in, they get an email. Like if you want to buy a house, this is an
Hmm.
example of one that I made. You click on my link, you fill out the 6 questions. As soon as you fill it out, you're going to get an email introducing me, introducing a loan officer, putting us all together and say, if you want to apply for a mortgage, click this link. Then you're dropped into my CRM. How much time did I spend on that?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is next level because that system is always working, even when you're sleeping. When you got something already set up. That's the next
Listen,
level of business.
look at this right here.
Yeah, the stuff coming in right to you. There you go. That's powerful.
Work smart, not hard.
Oh man, that's powerful, man. Thank you for sharing some of those tips because I'm pretty sure you got a whole you got a whole lot of ninja secrets, but you shared a couple, and that's powerful. For the folks watching and listening, go take a look at that. But make sure that you follow Dave online as well because he's willing to share information, which is also that's why it's more stuff will come to you because when you're willing to share, more things will come back to you anyway, man. So that's dope.
You know what was a pivotal moment in my career and life was when I thought that I can do all of this on my own. I don't need nobody, right?
Hmm.
And I had a bunch of buyers, a bunch of sellers, and basically my business started declining because you can't service everyone, correct?
That's right.
So I started thinking, I can't do this on my own. I need help. So I started reaching out, putting certain people in place. And then I said, you know what? I don't know it all. So I don't mind sharing what I know because if me and you networking and I share this with you, you share one for me, we both grow.
Hmm. That's facts. That's absolute facts. So
Yeah.
now you got multiple businesses going on that you're automating. You're automating all your businesses, right?
Oh, I will sit there, and some of the time, the scary part about it, I'm up all night. Like, okay, I need to get this done. How I need to get it out of my head, and once I get it out of my head, and then I get the right people to build it for me, I feel much better.
But you know what? What's interesting about having this conversation when your work is you're working like how can I put this? You're working on your business, not necessarily in your business all the time. So when you're thinking about ways to have your business automating work for you, right?
That's
Yes, that's
absolutely
high
true.
level. Yeah, that's high level. So you're not thinking about like I have to go drop this paper here or go do this. You're thinking about how do I set these systems up where all these things can happen for me.
Yep. I call it a flow. And I get the flow from Microsoft Power Automated. They call it a flow. So a simple flow that I had was if me and you doing business,
Hmm.
you're a high net worth client,
Hmm.
and you send me an email. I have a flow set up that anytime Jimmy email me,
Hmm.
I may not get it, but I have a flow set up that says when an email come from Jimmy, send me a text message. So which one you're going to get faster, the email or the text
The
message?
text, the absolute text message. Yeah.
A simple flow. Was that simple?
That's very simple. Yeah, yeah.
Would that help you?
Absolutely, it would. Absolutely, it would. Because then, I mean, I'm just thinking about that, right? There's so many things that are important, and you want to know when you get these important things, whether it's a client, whether it's, anything that's important, have this come as a text. Like, yeah, so that is a simple flow. But I guess
Right.
to your point, a lot of times we overcomplicate things in our head. If you could
Yep.
to write it down, like I want this to happen, and then find someone who can make that happen.
Yep. Yep.
Man, okay, okay. So
Leveraging that is just basically you figuring out who need to be touched and sent to and how we gonna do it. Once you got it written down, I guarantee you, you get with the right person, they're gonna automate it for you.
So you talked about your journey, right? Your
Mhm.
journey of doing the 5 years, coming out and figuring things out. When was it you discovered that I can automate these things and I can create systems? When was it you discovered that part and then you just went all in?
Um, Probably 5 years ago. I'm gonna tell you when it started. I have two cousins, Rashawn and Rashonda. They're twins, and they're into tech, and we talk a lot. I understand what they're saying, but I'm like, wait, if I can do that with this, then I can remove myself. And it just started from there. Like I started staying up all night. I was doing it myself then,
Hmm.
as far as I can go.
Got you, got you. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's it. You have family that are in the tech, and you try to figure out how to incorporate that into your business, man.
Right.
That's some powerful information you share right there,
Yeah.
man. So let me ask you this: along this journey that you've had, and I appreciate you sharing your story. What is your favorite book or book that's inspired
One of the books that inspired me, I would say, is probably Rich Dad Poor Dad.
you? Yep.
Um, Good book to read over and over and over again. No, I'm gonna take that back since we talking about
No, you,
automation.
you can give me more than one though. You can give me more than one if you have more than one. And a lot of folks like Rich Dad Poor Dad is a game changer for a lot of people because it's the mental part. It opens your mind up.
Exactly, that
Yeah.
was one.
But you can give me
But
another one.
another one, 4 Hour Work Week.
Oh, Timothy Ferris. Yeah.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
time I read that book, one of the things he was saying is you don't have to check your email. First time I read it, I was like, why can't I do that? I got 100 emails coming in. I got 10, 15 clients I'm working with. Why can't I do it? But it wasn't my mindset. I didn't understand that you can hire someone else. You don't have to do it. For the first time I read it, I was like, this dude full of it. But now I understand a lot more. One of the things I got from the book, and I really want to do it, is not even going to the mailbox, having a
Mhm.
mail system where your mail come in, is scanned into the system and delivered to your email, to your admin, whoever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's next level, right? Getting your mail. Now, granted, the USPS does scan your mail so you can see what's coming, but that's the next level to have an
No,
admin
I'm talking about open it. So if
actually
you
opening
got
it. Yeah.
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 So you're not even looking at it. You're basically getting an email and you can say, okay, tell your admin, put all the bills over here, correspondence over here.
Because what you're talking about is time. You're talking about valuing your time. And if you
Yes,
put a certain value in your time, you don't want to be taking care of tasks that you can just have someone else do. You want to do the high value stuff.
exactly. So when I first read it, I really was stuck like, this is some BS, man. But then I guess the more and more I'm doing more business, I'm understanding that I don't need to do $10 an hour work.
Yeah,
That's why I have people in place.
yeah, yeah, man. That's powerful, man. To get to that point, and have multiple businesses that you're automating, man. So the next business, I guess, is a business of automation. You can show people how to automate their business.
You know the thing about it, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I do show people, I share my resources and all of that.
Hmm.
I know some people want to step into the gurus and I'll teach you this, I'll teach you that. I'm just not there yet.
Hmm.
I don't want to do more work. My thing is to get away from doing work.
I like that. I don't want to do more work.
No, I'm serious. I don't.
I
And
know. I
and to
respect
me,
that. Listen, I get it.
that's building a course, having to talk to more people. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
listen, all I want to do is real estate, play with my family, and ride bikes.
There you go.
I'm an
Nice.
avid cyclist. I love doing riding bikes, traveling all over the world. I have my three things I carry with me. I'm on a MacBook, my
Hmm.
iPad, and my phone. I can do everything from anywhere. Most since COVID started, I don't work in the house. I really work wherever I want. Yesterday, I was by the water. I
Nice.
found the area by myself. I charge everything up. I even have a laptop charger, and I use my phone as a hotspot. I work wherever I want. So I like the mobility.
Yeah, that's time freedom, and that's what it's about. It's about lifestyle design. You have to figure out what works for you. So a lot of times, I think as entrepreneurs or business people, you get caught up in chasing specific numbers and not understanding how to set up a life that you enjoy. So you're really out here living that 4 hour work week life, because it's because
I'm
the reason,
I'm almost there.
yeah,
I'm almost there.
yeah, you set up a life that you want, and that's important to do. Don't get caught up in the stuff that you see on social media because a lot of times you see things that aren't even real, and and there's a lot of folks that's not even and then what I found is you talk to some people who actually have things and they're not happy, but that's because of lifestyle design.
One of the things is I value my peace and I value happiness. So even to having a deal that's blowing me off, like I'm a problem solver. That's probably why I became successful. I don't mind solving problems, but if I don't have to deal with it, I don't want to deal with it. Low stress level, zen, just relaxing.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm reading a book currently by one of Russell Brunson's books.
Hmm.
And in the book, he talks about working with the people you want to work with and how it changed his business when he started like firing clients. Like working with the people you want to work with is big, and in terms of enjoying what it is you do, you know.
I read a book about that too. I'm trying to think. It might have been that book, but I do remember recalling that you
Yeah,
picking your clients.
yeah,
Um, for example, you talked about who you like work with investment or
mhm,
investors versus buyers. I have a few main investors, and I try not to take on more because the guys that I'm with, we cool. I don't have any issues, no stress. You start bringing in more people, then you got to get to know them, blah blah blah. Working with a first-time home buyer is more fulfilling because you're taking that person into a new stage of their life, and I'm a real stickler because I deal with foreclosures, REOs, bank owned, ejections, the whole real estate cycle.
mhm,
So when I talk to people, I tell them straight up, I don't care if you got approved for 300,000. What I want to know is how much can you afford?
yeah,
Because I didn't already went to people house with the sheriff and had them ejected so I can sell the house for the bank. So I don't want you to be living in a $2,000 mortgage when you can really only afford 1,000.
yep,
And I think when you keep it real from like that, they like, you gotta respect it.
hmm. And that comes to like working with the people that you want to, right? So I think that's important. And as I was reading this book, it kind of hit me because what he was saying is sometimes like based upon like your email list or your social media activity. He said the point he made was when someone unfollows or unsubscribes, it's supposed to be a good thing because that's not your ideal person. You want to get to that group of people that you're willing to work with, and I took that as a lesson. So it's kind of what you're doing through your automation and working the way that you want to work. Sitting by the water, having your technology. You set that life up for yourself, man. So I think that's amazing, man. Thank you for sharing your story, and I'm proud to see the transition you've made because you're someone that I look to now in terms of how you structure your business. I know I need to do have some work to do in my own business because I think that's amazing. That automation piece is very, very
It's
powerful.
it is very it wasn't easy, I can tell you that much. It was more of it's a better way, Dave. You know it's a better way. Why you're not doing it? And even it's like you always have more and more to work on, but the more and more you work on, the easier it get for you.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm. And
talking about the automation for the lead test. It's amazing to me because it's like I started and people was calling me, well, what type of payment, this, that. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. And I said, you know what, Dave, sit down and figure out. I'm talking about how you want to pay me, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. It was just a bunch of running around. And then that's what really got me focused to say, you know what? You stand up your site. You tell them how you're going to get paid. You tell them when you're going to be there. Also, you're going to be paid before you go there.
Yep. That's nice. That's nice, man. So that's dope, man. You have an amazing story and you're setting things up. So what does the future hold for you? What are some of the things that you want to do in the future? Is there anything you're looking forward to? I know you said you don't want more work, which I understand, but what is something that you're trying to do for the future?
Um, I have all my credentials for my broker's license to open up an office. I'm on the fence about opening up the office because once again, that's more work. So I'm kind of going back and forth. It's like, do I want to get older and put more work, or do I want to get older and have less work? So I'm on the fence about that. Real estate, riding my bike, traveling, more automation for sure.
Yeah, yeah, got you. I like that. I like the approach of I'm not looking for more work. I think that's dope.
Listen, a lot of people say, "Oh, Dave, you need to." We talked about it,
Yeah,
having
yeah,
a
yeah.
course, this to that, and I'm just like, that's more work. Like, I'm
Unless you figure out how to automate it while you're building, you know.
but that's something that I would jump into, and I'm figuring out how I can do it. I move kind of slow, but I'm also thinking how it can be done. I
Yeah, but
mean,
you're methodic, right? And that's another great point that you don't always have to. So a lot of times, like people say, well, just move fast and fix it on the way, right? So there's some merit to it, but there's also merit to thinking things through because then once you figure it out, but it's all about what works for you. And I think that's a constant theme that we talk about in the show is figuring out how things work for you. Because you're a person that can sit back, like I said, do high level thinking, set it up, and then go ride your bike. But business is still happening. Business
yeah,
is still
yeah.
happening while you're riding your bike.
And I think that's the thing that fuels me the most is like when you set up that. I think you talked about it before about digital intellectual digital property or something. Once
Hmm.
you make it, you continue to get paid on it.
Absolutely.
Is kind of the same thing. Once I design it and it's running, it's just like when I see the emails, they just keep
Yeah.
coming in.
Hmm.
So I didn't already. That's me getting 5 leads while we was on the phone.
Hmm.
5 of them leads, okay. One of them may be credit repair, one of them may be buyer or seller, but I'm cultivating the lead and I'm talking to you.
Yep. And that's what it's about. So business is happening while you're doing other things.
Yeah.
And that's ladies and gentlemen, that's how you become wealthy. You can't become wealthy by trading like your time for for money. You have to
Yes.
figure out how to have money work for you and business happening when you're not physically there doing something. So Dave, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I will make sure to put all your social media as well as website links within the description of the show and the show notes for the audio podcast. Make sure you guys follow Dave on social media because he's always giving out tips and gems. And if you're in the Philadelphia area specifically, I know you're going to need his services anyway because all of us landlords are going to be calling Dave over the next couple of years as they face this lev requirement in. So and salute to you for having that set up already.
Yeah, I mean it was right time and being at the right time at the right place.
Yeah, because someone reached out to me yesterday. The first thing I said is, "Hey, I know someone you can go to Dave." Like,
And you know what? It's the same story with everybody. It's about to expire tomorrow. I'm like, well,
yeah,
hey, you get in line, buddy.
pretty much. I know you're busy with that, man. But again, that's why you have that set up and you have your automation set up. So that's dope, man. But thank you for sharing your story, Dave. We definitely appreciate it. Like I said to our audience, please make sure you follow everything he's got going on. He's an inspiration because he told you his story, and I can only imagine how your family feels seeing the transition you've made, to becoming the businessman you are. So, I think it's important to highlight folks like you in our community that have made that transition and now doing positive work and you're helping folks. So just want to say thank you for one and congratulations, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And listen, I thank you. I think I saw we was posting and then I joined your group. The
Hmm.
things there's nothing but positive post in that group is always positive. You guys talk about everything from A to Z.
Hmm.
I think that's the only way we can all go up if working together.
Oh man,
That's the only way. That's the
appreciate that.
only way.
Appreciate that. And that's our objective, in Body Hood University is to kind of, build new leaders, new investors, and to share information, because that's how we all grow, is by sharing information, and we all learn together, man. So, my next step in learning is to learn the automation game, because that actually excites me. Like, as someone who loves technology and loves business, you can combine the two together. I think, so man.
Listen, if you want to have a conversation offline or whatever about it, is get your steps together, and I can say,
Mhm,
here's a resource or how to start. I like tinkering with it until I
mhm.
can't figure it out, and then I go to the next
That's
level.
next level. Got you.
One of the things I'm excited about now is inside of Microsoft Office is called Power Automate, right?
Okay.
Inside of Power Automate, they have what's called AI Builder.
Okay.
And this is how I'm using AI Builder. um, I'll tell you, I'm using it. I receive your results for your lead test.
Hmm.
I don't have to look at it. My VAs don't have to look at it. Microsoft AI can look at your results, and I'll give them the parameters, and it says you passed or you failed. If you failed, it's going to tell you what areas failed. If you passed, it's going to say, here's your certificate.
And it
This
does
is
all that for
all this that piece right there is AI, and then there's some other stuff that go into it, a few flows, but
you. Yeah. So
I,
you set that up, and it communicates directly with your client. Like, so you and your VAs are out of it.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it's funny. I just had a meeting this morning with them, and they was asking me. I said, "Listen, everything is almost done where we don't have to touch none of it."
Mm, that's
But
powerful. That's
yeah,
powerful, man. So I hope you
yeah,
folks are listening. My man has a full business where it's running, and he doesn't have any. He has computers running his business for him. That's crazy, man. Um, listen, Dave. I just want to say thank you for sharing what you have shared to our audience. Make sure you follow him, as I said. Um, and as I always say, it's not about how much money you make; it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we shall see you guys on the next episode. Peace.